I'm very busy. I don't have time for your shit. All right, hang on a second, because this is.
We're recording. You don't have no more.
Is that Aerosmith?
I'm working on it. No, it's
people don't have this time.
No.
They're busy.
Jeff, just roll it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the Everyone Receives podcast, a podcast about caring and loving your spouse. And in wake of our, disastrous issue last week with Swami Smilington and his nudist retreat to Minnesota over last Christmas, I've invited 3 racers to talk about gift giving and receiving over the holidays. And while you may think that this is just the Everyone Racer podcast and it's a selfish attempt to get you to buy what they want for Christmas, well, while we're injured by that thought, we're going to let that go because we care about you. So I've got 4 delightful people who I understand race cars. And they have a little podcast of their own about racing cars. And, we're just going to turn it over to them, and it's going to sound like their own little podcast. So this is Dr. Smilington handing it over to the 3-Pedal Mafia.
What? Don't know what that is.
Are we going to do this one too?
Is that Mental Tells a Story that goes nowhere?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Welcome to...
No, Mental lives in a fantasy world that goes nowhere.
That's not on my bingo card. Go ahead. Keep
Welcome
going.
to The Hell Was That? Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of La Champ or Lucky Track Dog you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate. We even think you drifto hella flush peeps, all right? As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news and notes from the world of low-dollar endurance racing. Whether it's on the spot, hella sweet but terrible, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. You didn't go into an alternate universe. You did click on Everyone Racers when you wanted to listen to this podcast. So I assure you, you are in the right place now. Not sure what happened. Thanks for coming back to listening to another Mustang Sally episode of our podcast. It's 65.
Can't we make it a Thunder Kiss episode?
I'm down with that one too, because that has got one of the best quotes of any movie ever.
Okay, wait, we don't have enough.
I don't try anything. I just do it.
Just do it.
Okay. If you're not driving, make sure you get your bingo card out.
I didn't get my bingo
it on
card
your
out.
phone. Get it on your iPad. Get it on another browser.
Open.
Because you might have gotten bingo because we've already had chaos and we've only been on for about 5 minutes so far. So
that's for like 3 minutes. Yeah,
3 minutes.
exactly. 2 minutes and 46 seconds.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking it's 5 past. So okay, let's jump right into what you working on, as Jeff would say. Chris, what are you working on? Which is silly because I know what you're working on.
Yes, but I can tell Jeff and Mental.
Please.
I've been working on the kitchen backsplash. I've got the one wall where it goes all the way to the ceiling behind the range event. That wall's done. I'm going to do the other wall, but it looks great. I spent a warm-ish and dry-ish day working on the Mazda.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Chrissy's like totally dead.
Yeah.
That is
a picture of the kitchen.
And here's the thing. And Chris, you've got some mad handyman skills, but even in that frame of reference, that's legit.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent.
Doesn't a mad handyman fix his house and it becomes a robot that kills Superman? Isn't that how that works?
Different.
He's not.
Don't tempt him.
That.
Do not tempt him.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No,
I don't think that's where we're going here.
Is that someone gets drunk?
No, that is me opening up a non-alcoholic beverage.
Damn.
That is like an old WKRP gig. Only Jeff gets that joke, but yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Can I keep going now?
Yes,
please.
Yes. I don't know why you stopped.
Wait, seriously, because Jeff and Mental are talking?
Yeah, sure. It usually doesn't stop me. So anyway, I worked on. We had a warmish, dryish day, so I did a oil change and clean and fluid film in the Mazda. Oil change has been about 10,000 miles, which Blackstone last time told me was okay because last time we went 8,500, and they said, yeah, this oil looks great, so try 10. So we're trying 10. We sent the sample, and let's see what happens. I fluid filmed the underside of the Mazda and the Suburban. Jeff, that's what you do if you don't want your cars to rust. You do that, and it really makes a difference.
Next car. I promise.
Yeah, right.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it.
He buys them with rust pre-installed. I don't.
Well, the Avalanche he did. The Mazda was brand new. I also cleaned and rotated the tires and changed the air filters on the Mercedes because the computer in the dash was telling me to, and it would beep at me.
You would change the air filter now.
No, it said service C required. So
Service C. And then you got to flip in the book. What the hell is service C?
No, you have to go into the dash and say which items are required because service C just means it's going to take about 3 hours. That's all it means. So you have to go in and say, I need items 2, 3, and 8. 2 is check everything. I didn't do that because the car just went through inspection. They were so stupid as to tell me my horn wasn't loud enough. They checked it all, so I'm good. And then the other one was an oil change. I did that recently. I forgot to reset the thing. And the last one was the air filters, which I already had, so I tossed those in. It was great. And I went to Pittsburgh for work. Pittsburgh's
for a day.
For a day. I had a great dinner. Pittsburgh's it's getting nicer. It's like since I've been there 8 years ago, it's getting to be a nicer place. I like it.
And Lemons is racing there this year.
Yeah,
we're going.
Which we will be. And I was just, at this point, 10 minutes ago up on the roof of the house, cleaning the gutters out because we're about to get 2.5 inches of rain this weekend.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. And cleaning the dryer vent, which is up there, and also attempting to bodge together a fix on the skylight that is in our master bathroom shower. That the dome of it cracked. So we can get back to that 2.5 inches
That's why he
of
was
rain.
up 5 minutes ago because I was like, we have a show soon. He was like, this is priority now. We have a hole in our roof.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Skylights are great, but they're a hole in your roof, and sometimes that's not good. So, yeah. So I just put down the ladder and put it away and walked in. Chrissy had set up the computer and everything for me, ready to go. So here we are.
Yay!
Let's roll.
It's a nice interlude. Chrissy, why don't you go next?
Okay. We are doing Christmas all the time. I am Santa in our family. I am. Yep.
Jeff,
so
you mean ho ho?
Ho ho!
Bah humbug.
Oh gosh. Well. So I'm Santa in my house. I buy all the presents and for all the good little boys and girls. So I'm very excited. It's all prepped and organized. I just need to wrap it.
Do you know any good little boys and girls? Because I'm pretty sure I'm most of your circle of friends, and Jeff's pointing at himself, and we know better.
So I was working on shipping some presents, and this weekend we made cookies, and I am just all about spreading joy. So that's what I'm doing.
Chrissy, I know you're like a newlywed.
Yeah.
Married men only buy for one person.
Themselves.
The wife.
Oh.
No, the wife.
Nope. What he said.
Wife. Mental, right? As soon as you got that ring, you didn't have to buy for any other of your relatives ever again.
No, crap. You didn't listen. You didn't buy it for your parents.
No, I have to buy my dad's present.
You can do that now.
Why are you
my
not
brother,
buying his dad the present? Yeah. I don't even know what size my dad wears. My wife does.
I do.
No.
It's called gift card to the liquor store and to 2 different restaurants. That's what my dad wears.
All right, let me get this back on track. What are you working on, Jeff?
Yes. What are you working on?
Chris went to Pittsburgh, and my buddy from Pittsburgh came to Atlantic City, and we hung out all weekend. Woo. His name is Lumpy. He has less hair than I do, and he is the funniest man on the planet. So, 10 freaking
so
years.
he's more Jeff than Jeff?
It's true. He also has like a radio degree, so we talked podcasts and stuff.
Okay.
And,
did you learn anything?
He gave me
How
an
much do I
interesting...
not want to be eating dinner with you two at that point?
no, you don't. He gave me an interesting workaround to possibly get the music so I don't have to use the battery's low speaker.
Does it involve more wires? Because your track record with
more wires, absolutely more wires.
More wires.
We're gonna test some stuff, but not during the show. So we went to see Penn and Teller, my wife, Lumpy, and myself, and then we spent the night in a wonderful hotel.
Your room was glorious.
That was not my room. That was Lumpy's room.
Oh,
because
that sounds weird. You posted it to Facebook, and I saw it. That's the only reason why I know that you.
No, our room was wonderful too, but the one that had like on the corner that looked over the ocean. Yeah. Did you see that? That was Lumpy's because he is friends with the director of was the director of reservations at the Ocean whatever resort. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So Lumpy is probably a new podcast listener because he said he would check us out, even though he knows nothing about cars.
Yay!
And
I have a hunch we'll be getting some listener feedback next week about how much we suck.
And then,
normal.
Yeah, pretty much. And then a couple of days later, I broke into a student's car.
Cool.
With their permission?
Yes, they were locked out.
Oh,
So finals week has kind of happened. So I was going to the completely empty parking lot because pretty much everybody's gone, and I hear like hammering.
oh.
And I get there, and there is a young lady and a young gentleman, and they are trying to break into a square Volvo. And the only things that they had with them, this is hilarious, because if you're in a college campus at like 8:00 at night, you can find like a wooden door wedge and a rock and a stick. So these are the tools they were using to try and break into this.
No.
And he had the wooden door wedge, like he was wedging his door frame, like the window of the car, and he was like slamming it with the rock. I was like, oh, I got to help these people. So I kind of walked by.
That wooden door wedge is step one. That's an effective step if you want.
Oh no, this was not.
You want to get the clothes hanger in there, but yeah.
Depends on where you're applying it.
So he had wedged the door just a little bit, and enough that he was using like the wire from his headphones to try and lasso the door lock. I was like, this is not going to happen. So I went over to the passenger side.
Ever.
I walked by and I said, "Do you having trouble?" I was like, "Yeah, we locked our keys in." So I walked by and I got my mechanics gloves, and I went to the passenger door
and the knee
window
pads just to freak him out.
No, I didn't do the knee pads. They were in the car, and I kind of like leaned on the window, and I just got it open like a little millimeter, and I used my Leatherman, my mini Leatherman, which is like 2 inches long, and I stuck it in, and I peeled the window back, and I was like, "Come here."
Stick your arm in there.
Right in there, and then like we kind of moved over, and I said, "Just reach in and grab it." And she reached in and she grabbed it. She popped it. Like they were there for hours pounding on this thing, and in like 5 minutes, I peeled the window, and they were gone.
Yes. Good job.
Oh,
That's
kids,
it. That's all I was working on.
Kids, if you want to be cool for the rest of your lives, learn 3 skills. 1, know how to drive a stick shift. 2, know how to change a tire. 3, know how to break into a car.
Without using a hammer.
Without breaking the car, learn how to break
You didn't
into
say
a
that.
car.
Yeah.
Jeff enjoys when the keys are in the car, break the driver's window. So
I've
it's
done that
the
once.
hardest to change. Yeah.
By accident.
And the
Yeah.
cold drive home.
No, I was by accident. I was doing a window peel, and I was like, I only had one person, so I was like wedging myself in at the same time I was peeling. Yeah, there was a bit of a culture insensitive moment when I peeled I said, "You're never going to get that door open. Here, let me show you how they do it in Jersey City." And I like,
That's not culturally insensitive. That's geographically insensitive.
True.
Because I still remember when I was going to give up on the Suburban that was running with my keys in it in front of the CNC Mayhem factory, and you guys all called me out like, "You wimp! There's a garage full of tools. Take the antenna off. Hit the automatic lock button. Grow a pair."
Did it work?
Didn't it?
Like a minute and a half. Absolutely.
Mental, what you working on?
So we have a heat wave the last 2 days, and I rode the VFR to dinner to meet the lovely and talented and unfortunate Vicky. So I just literally pulled into the garage, and I'm sitting at a stoplight, and I made you guys watch Atomic Blonde when I was up there visiting.
Yeah.
But the scene where James McAvoy goes, "I love Berlin." I'm just sitting at a stoplight going, "I love this motorcycle," even though it's a little cold. It's my last week as a teacher. Saturday, we did our Rees Across America. So I want to thank everyone that contributed to that. We had a lot of really great cadets posting Rees up there for our fallen. And you guys all know Rika, my big dog. So she had a cyst on her tail, and we were taking it to the vet to get drained, but it was filling up too quickly. And the vet said, "Okay, it's time to amputate her tail." So we cut her tail off. We didn't do it. We took her to the vet and had her.
Good idea.
Yeah, exactly. You just take the kitchen knife and the meat cleaver. Yeah. So she's she's wearing the cone of shame.
Oh.
She's on painkillers, and she hates the cone of shame, and it keeps getting caught on stuff, and she just muscles her way through it, so it's all bent and jacked up and folded, because she is the saddest dog in the world outside of an ASPCA commercial right now.
Cue the Sarah McLachlan music.
Yep.
And I even posted that on my personal Instagram, and my buddy Chuck. Yeah,
it's a what?
And my buddy Chuck goes, "The cone of shame comes for all of us, my friend. It comes for all of us." So now we're moving on to, and Jeff, you have to shut up because Chrissy's intros, even though she just mocks our style, she does it so much better. So Chrissy, what's next?
I already did the first one. News and notes. Okay. We are going to talk about women in motorsports news. Rima Jafali, who's just 26, first Saudi woman to win a circuit race.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Wasn't allowed to drive until this year.
Right. So that's amazing, and she's awesome. She took the first place in the silver category and fourth overall in the TRD GT86 Cup at Yas Marina Circuit. And the week before, she took 2 Silver Cup victories. Awesome.
Now, I'm extrapolating that. So that's the Toyota Racing development, and it looks like the GT86, that Toyabaru, the little A86 thing that they have. So that looks like a spec class. So she's actually got to know what she's doing.
That's a great car for a spec class. Somebody's got to do one of them in America.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yep.
But she had to go to the United Arab Emirates to drive it.
Well, Jeff, SCCA already kind of does. It's called Solo Spec Coupe for autocross.
Oh, okay. Well, that's autocross, though. I mean, it should be road racing.
Yeah, not circuit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I got. Chris.
That's awesome.
What you saying?
I'm saying Lemons released their year-end standings. Nothing really new here.
Well, we won!
Last year. Wrong year. Wrong year.
But what were we
came
then?
in 5th. Yay! Yeah, exactly. So the Constructors' Championship went to BMW.
Boring!
The real Constructors' Champion, though, was the American Motors Corporation, who amazingly managed 8 points. Nice job, AMC. Well done.
8 points. You get, how many points for just entering?
3.
They tied me.
How did you get 8? Were there, 4 of them at the...
I don't know.
Yeah, and one of them showed up in 2 races. Good on them.
Whatever. AMC. Yay. So, we also spoke about the new National Effing Champions. Onset, Tetanus Racing, and Vertigo both finished with 85 title points, but from Lemons, quote, shockingly, even to us, it turns out Lemons actually has a rule, Section 5.6, on how to break championship ties. The oldest cars win, because Onset Tetanus runs a nice mix of middle-aged crap and utterly antiquated garbage, like a 240Z, Volvo 544. Welcome to the NFC curse. Congrats and good riddance to those guys. Tetanus is going to be back in 5th with us next year. But hey, they were also 2nd in the Gulf standing, 3rd in the South. They did a nice job all around. Well done, everybody.
Well done, but it's only because they bring eight cars.
That's how we won. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Poorly done, everyone. Very poorly.
Right. Okay. Well,
I have some off-podcast dastardly deeds that I'm going to mention to you all, but I'm mentioning it on the air so that way everyone can wonder who's on Onset Tetanus. But a little pranky prank going to happen.
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
Nationally, though, 3 Pedal Mafia managed East Coast #1 ranking. Wow. And nationally, we did 5th, despite painful season with regards to the Honda. So, to that end, a heartfelt thanks to our other team members, Cressida, Betty Bunch. You guys rock. Some of them must, I think. On another note, congrats to Christopher Blizzard, 2nd in national driver standings, 3rd in the West. Save Tatas was #1 in the Midwest. Brian Pollock and Jerry Ringel were both 5th in the Gulf. How'd that work?
They had 8 people that were tied for the yeah, exactly.
Cool. Brian's property devaluation racing team was 4th in the Gulf. Finally, Wartburger thief Aaron Lehman. I hope you have that on your card.
I do, actually.
Yeah,
I had it last week.
That's why I typed it out.
Oh, it's so good. I had it last week, and I would have gotten bingo if I had gotten that. Was 3rd in East Driver standings, and our own Chris was 5th. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, no, sorry. I closed my thing to go to I got to wait for you. I had
you're
to check
you're
off.
next.
I know. So AER released its rules update document for comment. This is like a totally different thing. Usually you just get the rules dropped on you. They actually dropped the entire document on the internet and asked their entire community to open it and discuss it. And there's some really interesting discussion going on Facebook, making sure that everyone understands that they write the rules well enough so there's no loopholes. So interesting changes of note. There will no longer be gear tech. Each driver is responsible for their own gear, but they reserve the right to spot check it. Car batteries that are inside the car now must be inside an enclosure, which is interesting that wasn't a rule prior. There was some good AGM versus sealed versus glass mat, like what wording should be used. So that was an interesting discussion. All fuel vents must now vent to outside the car. Who is the jack-off who screwed this one up? I don't know. Hopefully they're still alive. And interestingly, because
anybody want to get high?
Exactly. We haven't run AER in a little while. They have a rain light rule. So they have to have like the FIA blinky rain light installed in their car. Not a bad idea. There were several choices online under $100. Something we might want to add to our vehicles. I don't know if any Lemons racer would understand if we put it into
that actually work on all our cars, so we can turn those on, which helps.
But they also have a blinky mode.
Yeah.
We don't have a blinky mode, but
no, just to be able to kind of start pinpointing cars in all that mist.
Yeah.
The just taillights is so helpful when you're in a lot of rain. So
I just because I brought that up because we were having the taillight discussion.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then they were also discussing that there is a new rule about what to do when a car becomes a total wreck. It's interesting that the points follow the car instead of the team or the people.
I read this earlier and I was like, how does a car get lost?
Hey, dude, where's my car?
Where's my car?
Where's my car?
As we said earlier, someone comes over and does the Jersey City window peel.
Or you've got a lot of gas fumes because your gas is exiting. You just locked your car. Dude,
it's like you
can't find your car, yo.
Is it going around the paddock? Did you park it in the wrong spot? I was like, car is lost. Now I get it. Thanks,
dude. What's my tattoo say?
Dude,
sweet. What's mine say? Sweet.
Okay, so is this open for discussion, or are we just glossing over this?
No, go ahead. I'm down for discussion.
So I'm toying with the first one, no longer gear tech. So while I am annoyed by gear tech, and maybe I don't go every time, but I know my gear.
Hey, you always check and make sure the sticker didn't change. That's a thing.
That's a thing. I unfortunately know. Oh, well, Eric Rude listens to this. Darn it. So okay, I always go to gear tech.
He doesn't.
I always go to ear tech, but it holds
Gear tech.
It holds you accountable. We have had teammates that have not had the right things, and they've gone to buy it because it's the right thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like there are things that we care and we go for the right thing, but there are a lot of times where I would just be like, well, we can get away with that for a little bit longer, like to look inside your helmet, unless they're spot checking. Are they actually spot checking? I'm sure maybe they will just to say that they are, but I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that holds us accountable.
The duct tape on the tear in the butt of Jeff's old suit was totally FIA rated.
Totally legit.
Yeah.
Sure. The suit was repaired. It was closed.
It was your butt.
Yeah, I know.
Because of your butt being
butt.
on fire or low.
Sure,
because
exactly.
There's a seat in the way.
Yeah. And so I also agree with you, Chrissy. I think, but the whole point is not the whole point, but another facet into this discussion is just because you had the correct gear at gear tech doesn't mean you're actually wearing it in the car.
Sure.
And,
sure.
Like I never wash my Nomex socks because I never wear my Nomex socks. And now Eric Rude is going to be like, Jeff, let me see your socks.
Yeah. Every once in a while they do check. CMP, we were judging. We had to check socks.
If they started
Dr.
checking socks,
Mom
I would
checks
start
socks.
Yep.
Dr. Mom, whenever she's a judge, she always checks socks.
Yeah,
Because I had Nomex socks, but they didn't have the SFI label on them until I bought a new set of Sparkos.
Yeah. Nomex socks make me itch very badly.
Oh.
Then put cotton socks underneath it. But you know what really itches? Skin grafts.
Third-degree burns. You're right. You're absolutely
exactly.
right. This is a smarter rule. If they would make me safer if they were checking socks.
Sure.
So I'm down.
Well,
Check it all.
this wasn't for you to be
No,
to call us out, but I just feel like I don't know. Thinking about this.
Well, and I'll tell you how it's going to play out. The old guys, all their gear will be fine. The young guys won't. They'll let some of their stuff expire and then they'll get busted on the spot checks. They'll be like, oh, it's good enough, because they don't have a concept of their own mortality. All my gear is up to date. I do one check for lemons a year. And if the sticker doesn't change, but it's not because I don't care, because I know my gear is up to date and I'm going to wear all my gear, and they just do it so early in the morning, and usually we've been drinking, and I'm just not putting out my
from outside, you can't tell if a helmet is an M or
agreed.
And I think I would rather have a sedan helmet versus a motorcycle helmet.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
And I race motorcycles.
I would rather have an old sedan helmet than a current motorcycle helmet.
Or just buy the flipping current helmet. We'll talk about that later in gifts, but yeah.
Anyway, let's keep moving. Mental, you got some
all
notes?
right. So Tim Levine shared on the Track Midwest, Joel Molinar of Gingerman Raceway. He's got a really hard start to the holidays. He lost his mother. Now, he's a young guy. He's 27 years old. If you've watched any of the Grid Life videos that they show up there at Midwest, he's the guy that's got the really awesome double-handed track, the checkered flag technique. Great young kid, but now he's got to take care of his younger brother and his sister. They're 14 and 16. So he could use a hand with the funeral expenses and medical costs, and they've set up a GoFundMe page. And I know it's a big ask as we get close to the holidays, and I did put it on our Everyone Racers Facebook page. But as Tim said, I know it's a big ask. We get close to the holidays. I appreciate any kind of love you send his way. In my 30 years of living, I've never met a kinder group of people outside of the road race track car community. And I've been to Gingerman, and he's right. It's a really good track. It's a really kind of a family atmosphere. It's a great track. So we're going to have the link to that GoFundMe page. On slightly, happier, more depressing news, the Top Gear crew, the guys are the Grand Tours, they call it now. They're not going to be doing the audience format anymore. They're going to be just doing the special segments. They have filmed their last live bit where they have the witty banter on stage. So they're done with that. And finally, it's Christmas, folks. And the Mental household is not traditionally a Christmas card kind of family, but if you are, maybe this year, toss an extra one into your outbound mail pile, and you can address it to a recovering American soldier, care of Walter Reed Army Medical Center, 6900 Georgia Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., 20307-5001.
Do I have to write anything in that card? Or I'm just going to send them a card?
Happy Christmas. I don't care. Merry Festivus. Whatever.
Okay. You didn't indicate that I needed to write anything in it. You just said
it's kind of implied, but whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of outgoing mail, we are furiously working on our 2019 show schedule. Okay, probably not. Mental, when he feels like it and has some spare time, decides that he's going to write all of the Wednesdays down for the next year, and then maybe we'll fill some in. But we are looking for your input. We already have some great show ideas. Early next month, we will hopefully have an episode about entry-level rally, which somebody wrote in, and we've been talking about it, and we're getting there. Hold on. If there's an idea that interests you and something more or less of, drop us a line. I want to hear you.
Yes.
Of social. He's not looking. Whatever.
Note.
I'm sitting here trying to decide how to do it, and we're not changing that.
Nope. That's what I got.
I know.
Cool.
So, former guest.
He's got a mouthful of gummy bears.
I do.
Why? You wait for the time that you're not going to talk.
Quality podcast right here.
It was a gummy pumpkin for the record. So
that's been sitting around a while. You got to chew that a little harder.
That's what I'm doing. So, former guest and GRM OG Brian Medford was on the show earlier this year talking about new cars, and he was gushing about the new Ram 1500. Well, somehow he managed to get someone at FCA to give him one for a little while, and now he's writing it on his Napa Know-How blog, so look for that link in our notes. Because we all need trucks to support our ridiculous hobby.
Absolutely. And maybe you don't have a truck and you need to get on the track without having a ridiculous hobby. So in the holiday gift guide episode, Extreme Experience has a gift that will put your loved one in the driver's seat of some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks in America and Canada with no speed limits, no shifting restrictions, and no governors. Head to xxspeed.com, choose your supercar, find a racetrack near you, and start making a story of your own. 7 models of exotic cars and supercars to choose from, 20-plus tracks and a year-round location in New Orleans, Louisiana, with a 3,200-foot straightaway. Pro instructors like Mental, Chris, or myself in the car with you, helping you explore the car's limits and learning how to drive the racing line. Now, normally we say use our discount code, but the next few days, use the special code HOLIDAY18. New code, everyone, HOLIDAY18. And 30% off when you book at xxspeed.com.
What?
Extreme
Seriously?
Experience is your third. That is better than the usual 25% that you get with Everyone Racers No Space. So use Holiday 18 No Space, and you can buy your loved one, and you could like print it out and stick it in the sock that you hang near the fireplace.
Preferably the Nomex sock that's fireproof.
Absolutely.
How close to the fireplace it is.
xxspeed.com, Extreme Experience. It's your turn.
Woo!
Yay. So another person who does a great job of hanging things in the socks by the fireplace is Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Indeed. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Indeed.
Listener feedback time.
Yep.
So last week in Tesla news, we talked about Kreger's Tesla, and Kreger emailed us and said he was actually a little geeked to be part of the Elon Musk news, but sent us, and I quote,
I'm sure Elon Musk was really glad to hear about Kreger's
He's
car.
part of the Kreger's news. Yeah.
Exactly. So, quote, in my car's defense, the circuit at the track was a hot mess. 50-amp plug, NEMA 14-50, connected with an 8 or 10 gauge wire, protected in quotes, with a 100-amp breaker. When the plug got hot, the resistance should have gone up and the amp draw should have exceeded 50 amps, tripping the breaker. I'd assume something like that happened when the car alerted me to the charging interruption. Some idiot at Road Atlanta put a 100-amp breaker in the panel, probably because a crap-tastic plug kept tripping the 50-amp breaker that should have been there. That circuit is a proper electrical fire waiting to happen. Electricity at racetracks is hard.
Absolutely.
For the electrical engineer geeks out there that care, 40 amps is the max sustained circuit you can safely pull from a 50 amp rated circuit. The rule is 80%. Right. 80% of the current. Fair enough.
You lost me at 40 amps ago.
What?
Yeah.
So many percent?
So Kreger's is really smart, and basically he knows why it went wrong, and it's very funny. But in there he goes, but we did have plenty of range to drive direct to Augusta, getting home with only one charging spot. Totally worth the electrical fires. We've replayed the dash cam of Chrissy clutching her pearls a few times, which, by the way, Kreger's, we would love to see.
No, it's so
I've
disappointing.
seen it. It's kind of
We've seen it. I can't find it again. It's whatever. You can barely see my gestures because the whole back window is full of rain. So there's like dots all over it. And you see me run in, and then you run away, and then other people come over. We can't find it. It's not worth it. It's fine.
All right.
Well, thank you, Craig, even though you lost me in I Don't Caresville 40 amps ago.
Okay, so more listener feedback. We ask our faithful listeners what you were hoping to receive for the holidays, and that will go right nicely into our the rest of our show. But from Facebook, Jeff.
Tom Lamino, he said he would like an engine that is not sploded. We mentioned that he exploded his motor while Chris was driving it. So I chimed right in on Facebook and I said, try something not built by the Volkswagen Auto Group. And young Chris Egan piled on and said, as someone who used to race something with a horrible company that liked to blow up its motors, I can assure you that switching brands to a reliable engine has been untold amounts of fun.
I think it's like beyond. Tom Lamino might as well quit racing before he switches.
Seriously, Tom.
That's what he does.
And it's not like he drives a Volkswagen on the street. He's got like a Chevy and a Dodge. I don't know what kind of truck he's got. I think he's got Chevys everywhere.
Okay, Dave Eckel would like a pit bike, preferably a Yemi TW200 with a title for $750. This seems pretty. That's all I ask.
What is a Yami TW? Anybody know?
Yamaha. He wants a Yamaha.
I know it's a
TW.
Yamaha. What's a Yamaha TW?
I don't know. There's a
Yamaha.
Thing called
It's
Googles.
Google it.
It's a thick-tired, short mini bike.
That's all I ask. And then Ron Musak said, yeah, me too. Yes.
And Mark Furman said, I want a 74 Renault R12 for Lemons duty.
Oddly specific, Mark.
Just tell Spank you want one, and he will somehow find one. I don't know how
you may
he does
have to
it.
go all over the world. You might, but
he
usually
sent
it's
us
pretty cheap.
Citroens for years until he finally sent us the one that happened to be nearby us. So Spank will send you one.
We're like, done.
And I got an email from our listener number 4, Bill Fisher, who said he wants fire suppression for the Ombre. He wants some new race shoes because apparently they don't take well to being stuck in the dryer. He wants a running Mercury Capri, or his Mercury Capri running in time for pit race, and an HPDE entry for NASA pit race. And also, he said, of course, extreme experience, so support your sponsor.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Jason H. wants a new helmet and enough money to do a couple more high-performance drivers education and more episodes of our show.
He's been
That
dreaming.
sounds great. Yeah, seriously. That's a present that you can't return. Dinesh Ramasar, my buddy with the protege, said he wants an LSD for his protege. That's not lysergic acid diethylamide. That's a limited slip
I didn't know what that
differential.
stood for.
Oh.
Jeff could have pulled that entirely out of his butt, and none of us
I
would-
did. I know that. Doesn't anybody know that?
Oh, he went to
he-
college, so yeah.
Yes, he does. He probably reads papers on.
The other high school teacher knew what the drug
Oh,
was.
yeah, that too.
He said he would settle for a nice pair of racing shoes.
That's a lot cheaper.
Also, a gift for someone into cars would be a McGuire's detail kit.
Ooh.
Because you got to keep the shiny side shiny.
Love
I'm
it.
just going to say, if there is a McGuire's detail kit under my tree, it is totally getting regift because I don't have that much time. So you got something?
Well, when Vicky was into her extreme couponing, she would find those things on closeout at Target and various other stores for like $8. And for, I think, 3 years, I had a number of the McGuire's or the Black Magic full complete detail kits that she picked up for $5. And those are fantastic for like last minute party gifts.
That's true.
Chris?
Go, Chris.
I found the best tool to use for detailing, really, for proper buffing, getting it all done right, is a checkbook.
Seriously.
Like the $80 it costs to have the car fully, clay barred, compounded, buffed, and turning looking great is so worth it.
Yeah, but you can't just write the check and put in the memo, get your car detailed, you pig. But yeah.
And then he doesn't have to listen to me complain as I try to buff my car. You just take it somewhere.
That's
I
half
go,
the value right there. Yeah.
Anyway,
We're going to get to that in the main topic in a little bit.
Yes. Michael Krenzer says 2-post lift in a heated garage. Mic drop.
Yeah.
I tried to drop my mic, but it's on a spring thing.
Right. If I did that, then nobody would know what it is. So I said it.
Wait, let me try again. There we go.
Sure.
Out to everybody.
You even took your little pup sleeve off. Wow.
That's a peep pop.
Whatever.
Main topic time! Main topic time, everyone.
You're starting.
It's Christmas. We have
Do you like Christmas?
I do like Christmas. Nothing wrong with
Okay.
Christmas. So we are going to break this up into 2 different sections here. We're doing Christmas lists, not our Christmas lists, but our suggestions on what you should buy for other people. So the first section we're going to say is the Christmas list for the gearhead in your life. So I guess I start this sucker. So I don't want to be the Harbor Freight shill, but it might come up a few times this episode. So Harbor Freight has a 390 lumen LED work bar light, like it's a LED bar work light, excuse me. I bought it because I watched it on YouTube and they said this is the best light Harbor Freight has ever done. And I was like, I'll be the judge of that. It's a damn good light.
And it works well as a hammer when it breaks.
No, it's kind of not that good. But the magnet is excellent. It is easily the best light they have ever built. Regular price $39.99. The current coupon till the first of the year is $19.99. $20 flat. It's a hell of a deal.
So the boy
That's a hell of a deal.
Exactly. Go.
The Fat Crack crew down in Florida, they took one of those Harbor Freight long LEDs, used a series of cheap PVC pipes, and made a great slide under the front wheel overhead light that goes right into the engine compartment, hands off while you're working on stuff. So that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, this is a little one. It's about, try to like back up. It's probably like 2 feet long.
Yeah,
and
but
the
if
bar
it's
is
right, you can mount it on cheap PVC that gets broken. Who cares?
4. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Michael Krenzer, you already mentioned the 2-post lift in the heated garage, and yeah, this is a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to actually suggest the Quick Jacks. If you have a really, really, really loved one, and you're looking for a bit pricier of a gift than a $19 light, the Quick Jacks are amazing. I am in love with the ones that Chris and Chrissy own, and not everyone can put a 2-post lift in their garage, and this is almost as good, 0 installation, and you can take it to the track. Chrissy.
I'm going to say that besides the Quick Jacks are great, totally. I'm going to say that you don't, even if you could, have a post jack, a 2-post lift in a heated garage, because you can't see your garage.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I have no room. That's what I'm saying. Not all of us have.
No, because you...
Well, you could put a 2-post lift in your driveway, just outside.
A lot of people do that.
I
I
know.
see that a lot of places.
That would be so ghetto.
Especially in the southern areas where it's a little warmer, and in the west, there's tons of
Absolutely.
Yeah, not New Jersey.
Well, it's in his front yard at that point, which is kind of fun.
You can put it in too.
For the neighbors that didn't like the boat and the unregistered Civic or the unregistered Ombre, yeah, they
Or
would
the
love
trailer with Christmas lights on it.
Yeah.
Or the RV that your dad randomly abandons in front of your house.
Yeah. It's been abandoned at the shop now. So many of us who are car geeks are also watch geeks. So I have 2 very cool watch suggestion pictures in the little show notes there. One of them I stole from Mental.
This is no contest, by the way.
That's what I was going to say. Which one do you like? Do you like the Monaco?
Yes.
All right. Jeff, I will give you a kidney if you ever need one. Not that you want one of mine, but if I...
That's a pre-damaged kidney there.
Especially
but
not the liver.
If you ever show up at the track wearing that Steve McQueen Monaco, I'm going to steal it. I'm just going to take it from. Don't go to sleep.
I will say that what I have pictured up here is a Tag Heuer, I believe it's Aqua Racer in Gulf colors, and the Monaco Steve McQueen Gulf Edition. One of them is 3 digits priced. One of them is 4 digits priced.
Duh.
I'll take the round one. There it is.
That one has like diamonds on it.
No.
Oh, maybe
No.
not. It looks like it was shiny.
No, it's like
just iconic.
So
When you
they
drive
let
your
me
72
wear.
911 around, you can wear that watch.
They let me wear the round one. The square one was like in a case with an armed guard. Not really.
Is that your wrist?
That is my wrist.
Oh.
I am wearing it. And I told my wife, she was like, "Do you really want it?" Because I was like, "No, that's too much money." Chris, why don't you tell us what you got?
I think oil analysis, especially by a company called Blackstone or any of those places, is a really fun thing to get. The gearhead in your life, because it tells them a little bit about the health of their motor. It might let them extend their oil changes, and it's just kind of fun to get the sample back and see how things are. It's only $28, so that's a nice, easy cost to get for them. So that's nice. An HPDE entry is a great thing to get someone, because who can't use a track day? Everyone loves a track day. Everyone can use a little time to learn, a little time to practice, have a good time out there. So get an HPDE entry.
How would you go about doing that?
You could probably prepay for it. You could just give them the amount that it would cost on a prepaid Visa or something like that. So here you go.
They don't have you don't have it because you have to register your
I don't think there's like
person.
an SCCA gift card. Jeff, do you have an idea?
No, I was going to point to Mental.
I know some of the folks down there, the Trackzilla and the Chin Track Days, they do allow you to purchase that on there. The NASA guys, you can get their entire schedule for NASA at the Mardi Gras region, and there's no way that the Great Lakes, which is way more rock solid than that, and NASA is a great organization. So you should be able to pick out their calendar ahead of time, and you can prepay that. And I'm sure whatever region manager would happily send you a really nice certificate that you could throw under the tree.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And Great Lakes is actually offering $50 off their HPDEs if you do it before January 6th. So
I got to do that.
Go.
Oh, we should probably do that.
We're going to pit race, right? We're going to pit race.
We're going to pit
Okay,
race.
just making sure.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
So that's a nice thing to do.
Hopefully we'll have a car to take this time.
Yeah, if we got to take the Mercedes or the NSX, we'll still do it. It'll work. We got
Miata is still in my possession. No, not my possession, but I know where the keys are.
We can make it.
And you can pump the water out of the trunk, and then you can take it.
No, I
or you
drilled
just
a
wait
hole.
for the slash.
I popped the thing out. It's okay.
Okay, good. And lastly, you can never have too many of these two things: mechanics gloves and headlamps. But you have to, of both of them, get better than the base ones. You can't go to Harbor Freight and get the cheapest ones. No, both of them are worthless. So for the gloves, you got to get like the good ones that have the rubber edges on the knuckles. They're so much better than the crappy ones that don't fit well. And for the headlamps, get the LED ones with the multiple different settings in them. They're worth it. And you always are reaching for those, no matter where you are. You can't have too many headlamps and mechanics gloves.
And I still have your headlamp that you left in my RV 3 years ago.
Cool. I was wondering where that one went. Chrissy?
And to go along with not having a million pairs of mechanics gloves, you usually litter all of our cars with extra mechanics gloves. So, pretty much.
When you're changing a tire, because when you get a flat tire, which eventually, even though if you don't have them for years, you say, I'm not going to get a flat tire. And then you do.
And then you say, I'm not going to get another one. But it's really nice, even if it like has a finger missing or whatever, it's rather than throwing them away. So as you get new ones, you get one new pair for Christmas, you keep them in the garage, and then your old ones go in all the rest of the cars.
It's kind of like shoes. They have like this evolution. You get like your new tennis shoes, and then they become yard work shoes, and then they become garage shoes.
That's me.
Yeah.
I have like 8 pairs. No, I only have 5 going. Right. Okay.
We have the evolution of shoes, and we have the evolution of towels around here.
Pants.
Yes.
Pants.
Yes. Yeah.
Like pants and t-shirts.
Oh, you do have the evolution of t-shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Anyway, I'll go.
Chrissy, tell us what you got.
Come up with something that's not on your list. Okay. My idea was a transponder. Because yes, and you should weigh in. And actually, Chris and I talked about this after I said, basically, it paid for itself. We are so happy that we bought ours, but. Go ahead, Jeff.
So there was a recent new limited number of new non-subscription MyLapse transponders that were offered by MyLapse. I saw it on the AER page. Stable Energies Motorsports posted it, but they were already sold out from that vendor. Check your vendor, because they basically said MyLapse offered it to all the people, and they said, send us as many as you can. And they're like, everybody gets one box.
Yeah, you can't get them anymore. I've still got mine, and if you look on eBay, those things are getting absurd.
Yeah. So we did a good job then. Great.
Yeah.
Those.
Well, so is this a bad gift idea now? Is it like can somebody buy it and then they just have to pay for the subscription afterwards? I guess?
Yeah, I was gonna say buy them a subscription one if they
I mean, how much more expensive is it than
basically the 5-year subscription? I believe is like $500. So
it's also
the same as 10 rentals of a Lemons transponder. So if you're going to do more than 2 races a year, it ends up being
worth it.
Yeah, it's way worth it. And it's also nice to just not have to return it. Like we just basically take off all the cars, give them all to Jim, and then he takes them away. And yeah, so I don't know. I think transponder. I didn't realize that we had to do it for the subscription. So consider. The earfuse headphones, I talked about them last week. I think they're awesome. They are worth it. Jeff, you should do yours while we're in the off season.
I know.
So you make it so that you don't have any tape.
Do it before Laguna.
Yeah.
But basically go to Earfuse. I don't know if they're still on sale, but they have the ones for motorsports, and they are noise dimming. What are they? Not canceling.
Limiting.
Diminishing.
Limiting. Sure,
Diminishing.
Whatever.
Diminishing is the word.
I've worn. Yeah, thank you. Diminishing. They are.
Words are hard. Okay.
I am not drinking. I swear.
She's just drinking water, folks. Wow.
No, but yes. Okay. Next on the list is a tire gauge that works. You might want to get one of those well-rated heavy-duty ones for racing, but get a cheap workable one for your DD because we're finding that most people don't have that, and it seems like a nice idea because your tire gauge light is on, and then you still need to figure out which tire it is, or all of them, and how low they are. So I would suggest a tire gauge. Next on my list.
Good tire gauge is a great thing to get everybody who drives and put it in their car.
Yep. But I'm not thinking like the big one we have for racing. Like,
obviously.
Yeah, get one of those. And that's fun too if you don't have one if your loved one who is racing doesn't have that, but you get a cheap one that works for at least it's something. Mm-hmm. My next on my list is a 3M headlight restoration kit. And then you also need to probably offer to do it for said loved one. But I did mine for I don't know how many every year for 3 years maybe
or more even.
Yeah, because my headlights started to get yellow. We did the 3M. It's a bunch of layers and a bunch of different
sandpapers, right? Basically.
Yes, and then there's also like some wet sand and dry sand and
some sort of putty.
I was going to say jizz, but yes.
Getting the adult stamp now.
Sorry. Yeah. So, but you're probably, I imagine, if you have that problem and your significant other has not mentioned that this is a problem, you're probably going to have to do it for them. Go, Jeff.
I would mention that the Meguiar's detail kit would not get used in my house. But the 3M headlight restoration absolutely would, especially if you got anybody with a high mileage car. Their lights probably need a polish.
Yeah, and you turn around, like I walk away from my car and I was like, it just looks new, and it was like it made me so happy. So and it lasted for about a year, and then I had to redo it. So it was great, but it's not too much. I mean, then Chris used to buy them, but and I used to do it, and then I used to go around to all the other cars that had like the BMW for a while had like a little bit at the top, so I did those, and then I would try to use all of the different papers on all of the different cars and like save them up and stuff. So. Yeah, that's what I would say. And lastly, I'm going to say gear if needed. And yes, so here's Chris's way to do this. If you want to order a piece of gear for someone, you're going to measure a bunch of parts of their body and only take the measurements that you care about. So if you need to measure your head, and your arms,
there's our explicit right there. Only take the measurements you care about.
Well, it came from I needed to order Chrissy a helmet once, and how do I measure her head subtly without giving away what I'm doing? So I said, I'm going to buy you some clothing. I needed to know what size you are. And, I said, so I've just got, but in order to hide what it is, I got to take a number of measurements. So I did. I don't care what most of them were. I just remember the one.
Yep. And you're like my wrist and like he made me like stand with my eyes closed and like arms out, and then like around my waist and my legs.
You were unmarried at the time, right?
Yeah, but
you didn't measure the ring finger by any chance, did you?
This is no.
Like that would be mean. Like, I'm buying you something. I need to measure your wrist for the diamond bracelet. Or your ring for the ring finger, and your head for a hat.
There's a helmet.
I feel like
I'm so excited with my helmet, though.
This is the last installment of the 50 Shades of Grey, like the 50 Shades of Grey Part 4, the race gear. Ah!
Okay, so that's what I got.
There it is. Right. Mental, what's on your list?
All right, folks. Now, here's the thing. So I've been a motorcyclist for a number of years. I can't tell you how much stupid, cheap Harley crap I've gotten, and I've owned like a Harley ever. And, but people like, oh, motorcycles, I'll buy you this random motorcycle item. To that end, tools. That seems like an easy kill. Oh, he's a gearhead. I'll buy them tools. But hang on. Do you know what they need? Is it metric or standard, or as I like to call them, freedom units? Now, depending on your budget, there are a few items that every gearhead actually needs, and one of them is 10mm sockets. It's a joke, but not really. They disappear, and they make great stocking stuffers. So grab a couple.
Stuffers?
Stop it, stuffers.
Stop it.
Stop it. Sorry. But yeah. Now, the other big thing that to get out of the tool mindset and buy them a duplicate tool or a cheaper version of what they may already have, tool storage. Every gearhead needs a place to put all of their tools. And there was a time when only Craftsman and Snap-on could be trusted with a good tool container. But those days are gone. Now there's a couple of rules. I want you to adhere to this one. Ball bearing drawers, period, dot. Never buy any tool storage without ball bearing drawers.
Yep.
And things that stack on wheels or things that stack on top of other things with wheels are always welcome. And we want metal. If for no other reason, then it's easier to put all of our stickers on those. So unsure of the size, sneak out to the workshop and find that busted old beat up cabinet in the back corner, grab the tape measure, take a few quick measurements.
And
but be prepared.
20% bigger.
This.
Oh,
True.
it depends on the size you have, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 20% is always
No,
better
it
the
does.
size you have.
Yes.
Not too much bigger. Just a little.
But be prepared for a little sticker shock. But there's a really good one that caught my eye, and it might be great. It's a Husky 27-inch, one-drawer, two-door project center. Got a flip-up pegboard, 8,200 cubic inches of storage, integrated power strip with 4 outlets and 2 USB ports. It's $99, $30 off its regular price. We're going to have that link in our show notes. Now, another good, safe bet.
Can I jump in here for a second? I
Bust
saw
it out.
that one, and I didn't really like the pegboard, so I'm going to give another option, another Harbor Freight item. They have a 30-inch 5-drawer cart that comes in like 6 colors. Right now, the best coupon is $169. It's usually like in the $250 range.
But that's twice the price of what but and it's not saying it's not legit, because Harbor Freight has upped their tool storage game. There's some good stuff coming out.
5 drawers is more than twice 2 drawers. I'm just saying.
Or another way to do this is wait until about January 10th when the people return things to Lowe's or Harbor Freight.
Yeah, but I can't give you an IOU. Hey, in
Well,
January,
this is
I will
for
get you this
The
thing.
gearhead wanting to buy them for themselves. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Go
the
ahead.
$99 tool cart, that one caught my eye. Now, another good safe bet reading material. I'm going to throw this out there right now. Anything from Ross Bentley, anything from Carol Smith, they're happy to have it. And if they're not, they're going to be after they read it. And you can find those on Amazon. They'll still be here in time for Christmas. We're going to have links in the show notes. Some folks like car mags, and you can go easy. You can go with Road and Track, Automobile, Car and Driver. I'm going to be straight up right now. Motor Trend, Car and Driver, they're the same crappy magazine. They just, Camaro and Mustang, I have to step outside. It's garbage. Most of the people that listen to this
I'm a car
podcast,
driver reader.
most of the people that listen to this podcast, they're going to lean towards the hoopty side. And the folks over at GRM, Grassroots Motorsports and Classics Motorsports, always have a subscription deal. We're going to have a link to their store. Right now, GRM's doing their 100 issues or their 10 years and a T-shirt and a hat for $100. That's a great one. Or $20 will get you a year. Poke over there, see what they've got going on. If you've got so many of those clogging your bathroom that half the time you use them to wipe, I'm good with that one. I'm going to give you 2 really good alternatives. And the first one is called Iron and Air Magazine. Now, it's a motorcycle rag, but it's $10. It's $9.95 a quarter. They publish 4 issues a year, but this is a heavy paper, oversized publication with just beautiful photography. It's about 114 pages an issue. I love it. We're going to have that link. And the other one is Road Rat. That's a UK publication. It's also really, really pricey. It's about 240 plus pages an issue, and a subscription is going to cost you $40 for 4 issues a year, or £40, or just over $50. But that is for a publication.
That's a heavy magazine.
It is. It is a publication that Sam Smith of Road and Track called Thick as a Phone Book, Gorgeous, Lush, Legitimate, Engaging Writing. So we're going to have all of those links in our show notes. So that's what I'm recommending.
But it's 40 pounds. How do they deliver that through the mail?
Not 40.
It's like freight.
That's the unit of money in England, you troglodyte.
Aren't they using euros?
A troglodyte.
No.
Is that like Trogdor?
Trogdor! All right, let's move on. Now that you know what to buy us.
Trogdor.
we know that no one is actually shopping for us except maybe each other. Most importantly, the gearheads are listening to this podcast. What should they buy for the unfortunate souls who have to live with them and love them? So what do you buy your significant other or parent or brother or whatever? I have a story.
Okay. Do it.
I bought my wife sort of a motive brake bleeder.
Okay.
Is that like
Okay.
when Homer Simpson bought Marge a bowling ball that said Homer on it?
No.
A sort of motive brake bleeder is also called a garden sprayer.
No. I bought a motive brake bleeder. I only sort of bought it for her.
Okay.
So we mentioned last week that it was my brother's 50th birthday, and I destroyed his motive brake bleeder. So I purchased him a new one, and that's kind of like Homer buying the ball because
It is.
I'm the only one who bleeds brakes around here.
I don't know. Your wife is pretty helpful.
My brother brings his car here, as we already mentioned.
That's legit.
And I already mentioned that my wife is the unfortunate soul who has to pump the brake pedal all the time. It showed up at the house, and I said, oh, yeah, I brought my brother a new brake bleeder. And she's like, you're not going to give it to him, are you? Leave it here. I want it. So she got all upset, like, no, it stays here, and it is mine because I don't care. I'm never stepping on the pedal again. So it's getting wrapped, and it's put under her, and it's going to have everything.
And that is one of the myriad of reasons that makes Jen so lovely and so talented.
She's been pushing on the brake pedal for her father back in the old when it was International Harvester cab over. So yeah, anyway, I also, my wife gets a little jealous that I kind of travel the world and jet set around. So, she doesn't realize.
Or
Like,
this place is like
clunker set around.
yeah, like I'm
Like-
sleeping in
like-
an RV and not
like-
showering for days at a time.
jet set spots like Camden, South Carolina, and just outside of Pittsburgh, and on occasion Alabama.
And like I said, she is always welcome to come, but no, she has no desire. So I mentioned this earlier on the podcast, but give your loved one a weekend away with you instead of running away with the idiots, as she calls them. Why not take her away? So a couple weeks ago, I mentioned that she was reading her email and was made an offer, and we surprise planned a 4-day vacation in Orlando to see the Citrus Bowl. And now it's hit like the internet because I have a podcast or something, and some guy named Donnie who's in the Long Roof for Life Club. I think we all know him. Also is going to the game and offered to buy me a beer. So there you go.
Duh.
Donnie, you're the man.
Cool. So the next person in line.
Why don't you just go?
I know, but he's walked away. You look at the damn notes. Figure out if you're on next.
Seriously,
You're on next.
It's not hard.
Oh, he's running. He's
let's all-
running.
Run, Chris!
He
run!
is.
And he's
run
got a cat.
with
He's got a
him.
running cat.
I thought Jeff was going to go longer. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. So
So-
lawn service is a great gift to buy the person in your life who is not into motorsports, because you're certainly not doing the lawn because you're doing all this other crap.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have mowed my lawn in the dark to make sure that I was ready for a race weekend. Yeah.
Me too.
That's why. Yep. Okay. I said earmuffs, so you don't have to listen to us. And then I'm all along with sad cat. With Jeff's idea is doing experiences, do extra things so you can go racing when you want to. Because
Do you mean earmuffs or earplugs?
Yes.
I was thinking of the earmuffs. Earplugs work, but
Earmuffs keep your ear
protection.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Ear protection. Yes.
Really what I
Yes,
was.
they're-
Well, earplugs are great if you're sleeping in the same RV as Jeff.
Absolutely. Very
Or Jim.
important.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Ouch.
Oh, no. Oh, no. They know
Take
it.
your singular, Jeff.
I do.
9:00.
So,
All right.
what kind of experience were you suggesting there, Chrissy? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did you
just
mention
experiences. Do extra things so then you get hall passes to go. racing.
Oh, okay. I got it.
That's really what I was thinking.
Now, in keeping with that theme, and I'm just a big fan of this across the board, of experiences over things. Now, if your loved one is sympathetic to this sport, honestly, a good driving school, the Scott Russell stuff's back on board, and that's going on in there, or even and I say this without a hint of irony, an extreme experience event. Put them in a Ferrari, let them go out there and have fun. A shared experience at one of the great racing events, the Indy 500, the Rolex at Daytona, the United States Grand Prix, even the Walter Mitty at Road Atlanta. But key to this is pay attention to the sites off track. Take them to the cool restaurants, to the cool music clubs, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show my Southern roots here, but at the same time, a NASCAR race or a good, proper NHRA regional is an experience everyone should have at least once in their life. I took my dad to the Daytona 500 a couple of years ago, and I saw the NHRA Nationals. And if you've ever had the shockwave of a Top Fuel dragster launch go through you, it is something to behold. Now, along those lines, Tetanus Racing is putting together their biannual trip to Le Mans this year in 2019, and they have extended an invitation to all of us. Jeff, you've got something, and Chrissy looks intrigued.
I know you were mentioning the local establishments around the racetracks that you should take your loved one to. I'm not sure, but I've seen some references lately for the Claremont Lounge near Road Atlanta. I haven't seen any pictures.
What kind of establishment is this?
I don't know.
It's a historical folks dancing establishment.
Mm-hmm.
GD Yeoman seems to be there rather frequently whenever he's in town. So
yes. They've got a great buffet, and that's actually not a joke. They also have 3 generations of folk dancers. So that's one of the things they're known for. Now, if your spouse is not sympathetic to this hobby, but merely tolerates this nonsense, like my wife, then again, you still got to find an experience for the both of you, because now Chris touched on it with the lawn mowing thing, is you're not here. So when you're not here, you need to make up for not being here by having a shared experience, something common for both of you. Folks, put some work into this one. Pick a city they like. Find the cool local hood and Airbnb it. Or if they want the full up spoiled experience, get on Priceline, get on hotels.com, and find a great place to stay in the heart of the city. We've had 2 great trips to Boston. We've had a great trip down to Key West. We've done all this other kind of stuff, and it just make a whole weekend out of it and go down there and do like Chris and Chrissy did in Mexico. Get fat, get lazy, and get overfed and drunk. It's great. If your budget is way smaller than that, I seriously suggest an escape room. Get online, find something near your house, and go do an escape room that is stupid fun. I really had a lot of fun. Now, if they're not into any of these experiences and they want to do that, barring everything, and you just have to get them a thing, my recommendation, coolvintagewatches.com. We're going to have a link in the show notes on that one. Now, it has been widely publicized that Rolexes are so prolific that most people, they see a Rolex, they assume it's a fake. But say, for example, a 1962 Bulova snorkel that you got for your anniversary when you were over in Abu Dhabi and you found it online, coolvintagewatches.com. I actually talked to that dude on the phone. He's a great guy. There's some really cool stuff out there, and you can find a unique gift that has a story behind it for the person that means the most to you.
I'd like to mention that tonight I am wearing my Vostok Russian watch. It's an amphibian. It's another great option there.
Soviet Russia watch. Time tells you.
Time tells you in Soviet Russia. You know, I think if there's nothing else for the good of the order, before we get to our final topic, I'm going to offer hey, have you seen this show? To my compadres around here and everybody in podcast land. Netflix has a documentary out right now called Dirty Money. It has nothing to do with, it's about greed and money and stuff. But the very first episode was an hour long about Dieselgate. Volkswagen Dieselgate. And they interviewed a lot of the people and had a lot of the deposition footage from some of the Volkswagen of America people that I hadn't seen. So it was pretty cool. And the second episode was about Scott Tucker, IMSA and SCCA champion gentleman racer. And if you believe the government, he was also a payday loan
reality,
magnet. But yeah, I mean, I'd heard the name. I knew that he was arrested for the things that he did, and it was a really great episode. Scott Tucker actually gave tons of interviews with his wife and everything for this documentary, and it's, he tells his side of the story, and gotta say at the end, I was like, F him.
Well, and then what's really most annoying about Scott Tucker is Duke could drive. He has some talent behind the wheel. So can't fault him for that.
And never turned a wheel in anger until he was like 45 years old and like a bazillionaire. And someone called a professional driving coach and said, look, my boss wants to go racing. Can you turn him into a racer? And his actual,
they could.
His driving coach is one of the people that was interviewed. So, and cool. Became his team manager and everything. So yeah, definitely check out Netflix Dirty Money.
What?
Sorry, I was about to yell. Go ahead.
Good. Go.
It's
Tip.
Chrissy, you totally threw off our timing there. You should do that every week.
Well, I was going to say, why is this in this section? But it's fine. Whatever. Wait.
Because I wanted to do it between those two.
Okay. Well, this is the important part. So listen up. Holiday travel
segment.
And other important safety items. Listen up. Okay. We're going to talk holiday travel. Most people are traveling by car this holiday, so that is is most dangerous way to travel. So in 2015, 355 people died on New Year's, 386 on Thanksgiving, and 273 died on Christmas. 2 months. That's a lot of people. Mm. Somebody's typing in my notes. Stop it. No, I'm not saying that. So here are some things that you can consider.
Somebody's trying to get bingo.
I know it. And if I'm going to do that, I must just say all the things that I need to say, because then I would get bingo. Here are some things you can do. Keep yourself and your family safe. Don't drive impaired. It's dumb. Just don't do it. Make arrangements. Call someone. They're going to be happy that you did. They won't care. Just call them.
Lyft, all that crap's on your phone. It's like $6.
Oh, yes. Or just somebody that you know, drunk dial somebody and be like, pick me up and send me somewhere. So everybody will be fine. Happier at the end. Put your cell phone down. So,
hello.
Well, and Uber now has a...
I'm at the Claremont and I'm really wasted. Come
but
get me.
Here's the Uber now has a part of their app where you can send a ride for someone.
Oh,
yes. Yes, and pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Okay, so good to know. Put your cell phone down while driving and not. So distractions kill, but they're also annoying when spending time with people. Sing a song, play a car game, do something with people. Don't sit on your phone the whole time, especially if you're driving for a long time. That gets really old. Make sure your spare tire is filled, emergency kit's ready, and you have a backup plan. Finally, be patient. A lot of people are in a hurry. Stop. No. I can't see it if there's stuff here. People are in a hurry.
Is Chris measuring your head again? That's what it says. Stop.
No. If people are in a hurry, they seem like they're road rage-ish. Right?
Stuffer.
Stop. Don't taunt them. Pull over in the other lane. Calm yourself down. Just don't. People are crazy right now. Every time I go on the road, the last couple of days just seems like everybody's all over the place, really in a hurry, like in your lane or half in your lane. Just you be the calm one and let them drive off the road. Okay. In addition to travel, there's some more things to consider. Watch candles, blow them out if you're leaving the house, keep them out of reach of small animals and dogs and whatever. Small animals, I meant children, and animals. Make sure that flame and pretty much flame and the path of the flame are not under anything that can burn. So like when you have a plant and it's under the plant, don't do that. What?
Or don't flip pizza boxes up over a candle that's on your table. Also bad.
Yes. That happened at the wedding. Twice. Okay. Also, lastly, don't give the gift of food poisoning. So do all the things we talked about on Thanksgiving. Be smart about thawing, leaving stuff out, wash your hands, not to mention sharing sickness, which is really popular about now.
That's
don't lick your lawn. Don't lick door handles.
Don't lick your hands. Don't lick your friend's hands. Yes. That's all I got.
Awesome. Next
week. Hey, folks, we give Chrissy a hard time about this stuff because, well, it's funny to us, but she actually puts a lot of research into that, and that's all actually good advice. So ignore our interruptions and listen to what she tells you.
Awesome. I think that just about wraps up the show. If anyone has anything else for the good of the order.
No bingos here? No bingos?
No.
I actually hasn't been.
I have like the whole circle in the center, but nothing to get a bingo.
Yeah.
I haven't been flipping back and forth, so I don't know what's on my card. So our next show will be the post-Christmas show. This is the pre-Christmas show. If you got anything really cool on your list, please make sure you post it on our social media. We will also show off any of our cool swag. So yeah, come back after the holidays and we'll be talking about it. And also I want to say thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's 65 edition.
Yep.
Thunder Kiss edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes. That's what you can get me for Christmas. Hold on a minute. Music down.
Wow.
You know what you can get us for Christmas?
Speaker drop.
Give us 5-star reviews on iTunes. We are trying to expand our reach, and the iTunes metrics are the only ones that count. So if you give it to us on Facebook, it doesn't really help new people find us. Back to the thing. Even if you hate us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at Everyone Racers. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless there is no shiny side, then just keep the wheels down.